Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. Bit of a weird video, but aren't they all? Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Abra is expanding its US offerings, adding support for 60 new cryptocurrencies and doubling users' bank deposit limits. The crypto wallet and investment app provider announced on Tuesday that US customers are now able to deposit, withdraw, or trade Bitcoin Cash SV, DAI, and Cosmos, among many other crypto assets. Additionally, customer withdrawal and deposit amounts will raise from $4,000 per day, $8,000 per week, and $16,000 per month. The service expansion also adds deposit and withdrawal capabilities for Tether, TrueUSD, Paxos, and DAI, according to the firm. In the coming weeks, Abra will open up access to the new assets for users outside the US as well. The additions bring the total number of cryptocurrencies on offer to over 200. Unlike most exchanges services, Abra allows users to freely exchange all in-app assets without trading pair limitations. Here's where it gets kind of weird. The new options will not include Quantum, Bitcoin Gold, EOS, or Omise Go. A spokesperson told CoinDesk Abra announced earlier this year that its US customers will not be able to hold these particular cryptocurrencies from the 29th of August due to regulatory uncertainty and restrictions within the country. Even more so, at the time, the firm also said that residents of New York could no longer use bank ACH or wire transfers or American Express cards for deposits and withdrawals after the same date. Other US users can currently fund accounts with Amex, Visa, and MasterCard, as well as banks and wire transfers and crypto. I tried to check their website to see exactly what the other 50 cryptocurrencies were. It lists just a couple of things over here like DAI, SV, Cosmos, Tezos, Paxos, but it doesn't. I tried going to their website. The website just wasn't working. Maybe it was the time that I was using it. I sat there for a second thinking. I was like, well, maybe tens of thousands of other people are also trying to access Abra at the exact same time. That's highly unlikely, especially at the time that I was trying to do it. I couldn't figure out what other coins they had listed. There's no links here for what other coins are going to have listed. However, Abra is one of the more well-known cryptocurrency offerers, exchangers, apps, things out there. So I like to see the expansions. I do think I was going to say that it's weird, but it's not at all that they're not allowing Quantum, Gold, EOS, or Omise Go. There's no regulatory clarity still. I have been reading a number of articles, listening to podcasts from either people who are regulators, who worked on Wall Street, who were former SEC, CFTC members, discussing what's going on, and they're sometimes just as perplexed as everyone else. They said that they assumed that by now there would have been regulations. They assumed that some type of clarity on any level would have been given. The most that US customers, users of cryptocurrency have for clarity is, I think, how much they have to pay for taxes and that they're going to be asked by the IRS if they own crypto. There's no real other framework. There's nothing in line. I personally think that the US knows this. Obviously, they know that they don't have regulations, but I think that they're holding back on purpose for whatever reason that it could actually be. So US customers will get access to around 60 new cryptos with customers in New York. Once again, getting part of the short end of the stick. We'll get there eventually. I don't know when. I had higher hopes about a year ago that the US would have gotten it together right now. It doesn't take 3 years to fill out paperwork, or even just say a number of things could have happened. They could have simply declared all these things are securities. You all fall under the jurisdiction of the SEC. Pay taxes and do regulations this way. They could have all said they're all commodities, or they could have all said that they're a mixture of the two and simply said, if you do this or that, you're this. They gave out, what was that really weird framework that the SEC gave out a couple of months ago? And it was like 13 pages just full of numbers and like symbols. And it was like, if you do this, if your coin's been out for this long, if you have this many nodes, if you have, and like the day after it came out, other regulators were like, can we have this in English? Because it just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Abra's expanding. The cryptocurrency space, regardless, will continue to expand. But we are now in that bubble once again, where it's no longer that we're waiting for the ICO craze or the ETF craze. We're now waiting for the U.S. regulators give us regulation craze phase. If you know what I'm talking about. Let's move on. Next up, a Canadian bank which banned its clients from buying Bitcoin could now become the first in the country to launch a cryptocurrency exchange. I wonder why. As innovation economy news outlet The Logic reported on the 11th of November, the Royal Bank of Canada, or the RBC, is now rumored to be considering the plans. The Royal Bank of Canada is the largest bank in Canada by market cap, with $661 billion in assets under management, according to The Logic. The bank is entertaining the possibility for the exchange to function both for investments and allowing clients to make purchases online and in brick and mortar stores. The news follows a previous report that Canada's central bank wanted to use digital currency in order to better track consumer spender. I mean, they want to use it just to track people in general. The idea isn't, and I hate the wording of it as well, and I even more so hate that people fall for the actual wording of it. Whenever governments say that they're banning something or stopping something because it helps finance this, or it's illegal against this, or it's so and so and so, when people actually do the numbers and they realize of all the people on this planet and those that actually do those specific illegal things, I think it's like 0.05% of all the people on the planet, and then the other 99.9 something percent or whatever has to also fall under those rules as well. For the handful of people who do the massively, insanely crazy, illegal things. And when it comes down to tracking consumer spending habits, you can do that other ways. We've been doing that since the 1920s. We know very good ways of being able to track consumer spending, what people like, what they're doing. Spending habits is very different than having to track me and my family and seeing exactly what we're always buying at any given time. The trading platform, and I do quote, would facilitate buying and selling of individual digital coins, including Bitcoin and Ether, as well as the transfer of funds, combining different types of cryptocurrencies. While little detailed information is currently available, the move would run conspicuously. In contrast to the RBC's current modus operandi on cryptocurrencies, last year the bank abruptly banned clients purchasing Bitcoin or altcoins with credit cards and debit cards. This is also something that we saw. We didn't see it as much in 2016. There were definitely news reports, but the price of Bitcoin in the wider cryptocurrency market hadn't gone up enough that people would have cared that banks were banning or stopping it. 2016 was still the last shred of the beginning of Bitcoin's original rhetoric of being hyper decentralized, away from banks, no big money people touching it, a decentralized world, everyone living in harmony. That's completely gone now. That entire story of Bitcoin is just about making money. But it kind of, it's just how life works out. So the most interesting part that I find about all of this is that multiple banks in 2018, and I guess to a lesser extent the very beginning of 2018, at some point had come forward. Multiple major banks, not every single bank in the world, but multiple major banks come forward and said that they hated cryptocurrencies, crypto were a fraud, rat poison squared, yada, 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 for criminals, what have you. And then at some point, about 6-7 months later, it was either revealed or we had one of those situations where like someone close to the source had come forward and said that that bank was either mining Bitcoin, already was in possession of Bitcoin, or had bought during the dip. And a lot of these were actually confirmed by the bank. Or at some other point. Remember when JP Morgan Chase had announced that anyone within their company or bank, whatever, who was using, buying, selling, purchasing, anyone in the office, anyone in the building who had possession of Bitcoin in some sort of way would be fired without notice. You're gone. 6-7 months later, Jamie Dimon was on stage saying that one of his kids had Bitcoin. He was also into Bitcoin. And then we started getting the little hints that JP Morgan was okay with crypto, not even cryptocurrencies, with Bitcoin, and that they were creating their own coin. This is all about money. So the idea that the largest bank or any large bank would stop their clients from buying or trying to initiate anything that had to do with Bitcoin, which we also saw in 2018. Many people's accounts were closed. I saw many people in the comment section on this channel talking about, yeah, I tried to buy something from Coinbase. My account was frozen for a week. They were asking me what I was doing. It's fairly obvious that banks are eventually going to all start offering these things. And the craziest part is that people always forget. This is what I was telling you before, what the other channels, when they keep giving you hype, and you're like, stop, like, I'm tired of the hype. And then people end up going back to the channel 6 months later because they forgot that the hype was there. The same exact thing is going to happen. Banks are going to tell people, you can't do this, you can't do that, stop doing this. We have to know exactly what you're doing. People will hate the bank. And then 6 months later, when they offer, we're offering 4% on all, if you hold Bitcoin with us, everyone goes, I want 4% of my Bitcoin. And then you've forgotten all the evil that they've done before. Evil being a term used very loosely. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it may not happen next month, but you'd better believe that banks are gearing up for stuff like this. We keep getting information about too many banks out there who are just suddenly into cryptocurrency. I think the first step is always going to be them allowing custody, saying, yeah, we'll hold it for you. The next step will be earning interest. And then at that point, this is when they start rolling out the actual cryptocurrency debit cards, yada, yada, yada. And then the scariest part will be when we start getting cryptocurrency loans from banks. If you're trying to get like a mortgage or something like that, and it's in Bitcoin or denominated in Bitcoin, that's when you know that there's no real turning back, that this has been discussed with other major banks around the world. They're all going to do the exact same thing. At that point, crypto will have won. But banks will have become so comfortable with it because they also hold a huge stake in it, and therefore they're also trying to make billions as well. Alrighty, let's move on. Next up, smartphone developer HTC plans to provide support for Binance Chain with a new special edition version of its blockchain mobile. The company announced on Tuesday that it would release an Exodus 1 smartphone that integrates with crypto exchange Binance's namesake blockchain, providing support for its decentralized exchange and token. The Exodus 1 Binance Edition will integrate Binance Chain with the device's native Zion Vault wallet app. According to the announcement, essentially, users will be able to directly access the Binance DEX using their phone. HTC Decentralized Chief Officer. What a pretentious title. The centralized chief officer, Phil Shen, said Binance's borderless vision is a cause that Exodus also aspires to. We're partnering with the biggest and most liquid crypto exchange with the most minimized, blah, 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 blah. The point was, where was the nice part of all of this? Natural devices. Crypto, on the other hand, will make every smartphone both a proof-of-stake terminal and a payment device, cutting out most other middlemen. Kind of cool. I assume, first of all, for me, this is not a paid partnership. Secondly, I assume this is a paid partnership in some sort of way. I'm sure they know each other, went to the same university. If you ever connect the dots, it's really, really weird. If you look at how many people know each other within the cryptocurrency space, they all either went to the same school, they were all working for Google or Amazon or PayPal together. That's a really good one as well. They all know each other in some sort of way. So I assume this is why Binance Chain is being added to HTC. Cool, I guess. No price on this. Oh, the new Binance edition of the phone will retail for $5.99 or $8.99 in Singapore dollars. Pass. The point being, we're seeing a lot more blockchain phones out there. I like it. I wish they would expand a bit. No. I won't even say that. I was going to say I wish they expanded a bit more, but it's been like 9 months since they've started rolling out. I give them a good 2 years. Every other phone that comes out in the market will probably be blockchain inspired. I'm just waiting for phones that allow everyone to run full nodes or any coin or coins that they choose. Also, when we have them as proof of stake devices, that will be a game changer, because in a world, predictably, where everyone's moving over to this proof of stake kind of thing, as far as like, you can stake your coins with us, make passive income, make so and so and so. Being able to use your phone for that. I mean, this also leads us to a world where phone jackings would just like skyrocket. As long as you have backups or whatever the future holds for us, I think that'd be very interesting to be able to have a phone. Oh gosh, remember the discussion that we were also having as well about the guy from Tesla and many other people when they were talking about self-driving cars, and they were talking about being able to use your self-driving car when you're not using it to pick up other people with Uber or with Lyft or whatever other apps are out there. And the payments that end up happening on the other side would be in cryptocurrencies, and they would go directly to your phone, and they would go directly to your so-and-so. So you'd be getting paid passively from something that your computers are kind of just doing completely around you. That'd be, yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. It's just more like I forgot that we had that discussion. Anyway, yeah, sure. HTC is launching a Binance chain phone. Don't be surprised if they launch some other type of chain phone. I'm just interested, and I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest with you. I'm just waiting for a blockchain phone that's around $299 that can run a full Bitcoin node, that runs a Lightning node, and maybe has some type of staking possibility for something. So I can walk down the street, hiding my phone so it doesn't get jacked, knowing that I'm making passive income from the thing in my pocket. Anyway, let's move on. This we're going to breeze right over, but I thought this was fairly fascinating. Secondly, or rather firstly, from the other second, what am I talking about? This is not paid advertising. This is simply a mimic of what we've seen the last 2 weeks. Remember I was talking about that there's a whole bunch of companies who are now coming out with a whole bunch of things talking about you can make money passively on your Bitcoin. You can make Bitcoin more passively money and all that other stuff that they were talking about. The idea being hold your crypto with us and therefore you can make money on the side. This is, what is this thing? The coin mine. Apparently it's an at-home Bitcoin miner. Says the device, which was profiled here a year ago, is now adding more tricks to its arsenal. First, the miner is $100 cheaper. Woo! Down from $800, now $700. And the device now offers, here we go, a 6.5% APR on earnings held in CoinMine wallets. The idea pretty much being you mine with the machine, and the money that you hold on their CoinMine wallets, I assume within the machine, gets you 6.5% APR per year. This goes back to the exact same discussion before. Everyone's looking for the next use case for cryptocurrencies. It's not enough for major investors to be able to simply just hold it and look at it grow, go, wow, I made so much money. They need to know that it's also making some other type. I mean, it's just how investing kind of is. We're going to see more of this. Like I said, one, not paid advertising, and two, if you plan on buying this, research. As always, I will honestly tell you once again, whenever a company does something and they are successful, 5 more sprout up and do the exact same thing. When those 5 companies are successful, about 5 more sprout up from them as well. I'm going to assume in about 1.5, 2 years, we're going to have about 5 companies who are going to be having their own cryptocurrency mining machine type thing. What was the other one who let you run a full Lightning node and you get paid in Satoshis as the transactions are going through? I can't remember what they're called. They also lowered the price of their machine. Everyone's going to have a super low in, remember those, what are those things called? The creepy things that always listen to you from Amazon. The things that like sit in your home and they listen to everything that you say. Can't remember what they're called. The scary box, whatever it's called. Those went from several hundred and now they have one. Was it like $29.99? Yeah, put this in your home. Let us listen to you. We're going to have that eventually for just about every single thing in cryptocurrency. When more people further get into the space, we're going to only have, eventually at some point, we're going to have a $29.99 thing we can buy from Amazon or buy from some other store that sits in the corner, is a full Bitcoin node, a full Lightning node, and is also mining something. It may be mining like 5 cents a day, what have you. But anyway, I like that this is happening. I do appreciate that companies are realizing that they can and should and are now offering some type of like an annual percentage return yield type of thing on the cryptocurrencies that you're holding. It's kind of nice. I remember when I first got into finance years ago and I was learning about dividend stocks and stuff like that, pretty much a stock that you hold that pays you every 3 months or 4 months for simply holding it. And I was like, that sounds kind of nice. And I was reading about people in Forbes who at some point maybe inherited $1 million, let's say round number, and they found dividend stocks that gave them around 6% per year. I was like, oh, that, it's not a lot. And then you realize 6% of $1 million is 60,000 per year. So we'll get there eventually. The point being, CoinMine is now doing this, and I assume other companies are going to be doing this as well. And without further ado, I'll let some move on. Getting to a symbiotic discussion, Kick, the company, is struggling to mount a strong defense in a case brought by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission over its $100 million ICO. As reported last month, Toronto-based Kick's legal team attempted to persuade the District Court of the Southern District of New York that why is it always in New York? Why does New York have a problem with everything? Why every single time that there's a case mounted against someone? Why when it was that thing against Tether, it was New York? I've never heard of Wyoming opening a case. I've never heard of Alabama opening some type of a cryptocurrency investigation or something. Why is it always New York? Southern District of New York that the SEC's case alleging the 2017 token sale violated securities laws was void because of the premise that the legal definition of the investment contract is unclear. Kick argued that this vagueness precluded that definition from applying to its Ken token offering. Pretty much for those of you who don't know, Telegram and Kick are both under legal scrutiny right now from the SEC. The even weirder part is that the SEC knew about both of these ICOs and about both of these crypto coin tokens for at least a year. I'll give you a good even 14 months. They definitely knew about them. But at some point before these things were really about to kick off, and no pun intended at all, about to get going, what have you, for some reason the SEC decided to announced that they were illegal, that they had done something wrong. I think like 5 days before Telegram's Ton token was going to launch. I was discussing with a friend quite recently the moves by governments and organizations as to their timing and when they make sure that something is going to be deemed illegal. It can't work. You can't do this so and so and so. It's not a coincidence. Not saying that Facebook needs any slack at all, but it's not a coincidence that Kick, Telegram, Facebook, and there was one other one that we don't really hear about as much, some other messaging so-and-so app, all are falling under SEC and government scrutiny at the exact same time. These are things that were meant to be used outside of or away from the US dollar, and we can't have that. Oh gosh, what was the thing I was watching yesterday? It was talking about it was something about China as a new like world economic power. I can't remember what it was, and it was like the steps that the US has taken over the last like 15 years, and none of them are really working because you can't really stop 1.4 billion people. They have a lot more buying power than 350 million. Anyway, both Kick and Telegram are under the thumb, I put my thumb on the table, of regulators currently. I don't think this is going to end anytime soon. I think this will be very drawn out, the same exact way that we've seen every other like lawsuit within the cryptocurrency space. Like that guy who lost, what was it, like $60? And he's suing Ripple, and it's been going on for like 2 years. I think this is just how I look forward to a world where things don't take 2 years. I look forward to a world where common sense can run free and rampant. I look forward to a world where if we do still have regulators of some sort in 50 years, that they can see that something looks illegal or wrong to them, and they can go to the company immediately instead of having to try and knock them down 5 days before. What was the other thing? The other company who had gotten the green light to list physical Bitcoin futures before the New York Stock Exchange. And the day that they announced, yeah, you know, we got it cool going, the SEC or whatever other letter company was like, no, you're illegal. Stop doing that. And it's like, you told us 9 months ago we had to wait this long. We waited 2 days after that long. We're legal. It's a load of nonsense. I've come to the conclusion, I think I've gotten here many times before. I think what we're witnessing, and maybe even not witnessing, I was think of it this way. All this stuff with cryptocurrencies, all this information is, without making less sense, is passing through our heads. It's all just data that's flowing in the air. We can't see it, but it's happening before us. I think we're going to be very shocked in 10, 20, 30, 40 years. You know how, like, what's the thing, like, where I think 50, 60 years later, after something has happened, like the documents are finally released to the public and we can see, like, the atrocities that took place for whatever event that might have happened. I think we're going to be very shocked in a number of years as to the things that are taking place within the cryptocurrency space, the corruption, people who are trying to get their coins out in front of so-and-so, and so people who are trying to do this. That this discussion leads directly into what we're going to be talking about. Bear with me. It may get a bit intense, but it's kind of just how things are. So it says, throwback. 1 year ago, 50% Bitcoin price dump to $3,000 began. It says 1 year ago, yesterday, that was the 14th of November, so this was yesterday, the price of Bitcoin began to tank. During that day, the cryptocurrency market Bitcoin fell from 6,200 and then started falling around $3,000. Show of hands, how many of you were here? I'm raising my own hand as if I wasn't here as well. Raise your hand if you were listening around that date. If you're around November 2018. What I find the most interesting, it's so many things lining up. This one says the entire cryptocurrency scene, including Bitcoin, is plummeting again. These might be the reasons why. Prior to the 14th of November 2018, we lived in a world where people were like, Bitcoin is going to shoot up. Bitcoin is going to rally back up. Everyone, remember I said, I'm sure you remember, said it's very weird that Bitcoin keeps having this positive momentum, but the price isn't going anywhere. Last year, we had one of the longest, I don't even know what to call it, sideways trends in Bitcoin's price. The price would not move. We had days where the price going up was around 0.04%, and the price going down was around 0.12. And I was like, whoa, look at those major movements. We had all the discussions that Bitcoin was finally stable, Bitcoin was going to be a store of value. And then we had an enormous amount of analysts who were like, Bitcoin is poised for a very large move upward. Even the little trickle of crypto analysts on Twitter who give you all the nonsense information or tell you that the prices are going to go down, everyone was in agreement that Bitcoin's price was going to head higher. It looked like it. We had waited the entire year. Bitcoin had settled at 6,000. There seemed to be nothing that could possibly deal a blow to it. What ended up happening on the 15th of November, keep in mind, this is all one date. 15th of November. What ended up happening on the 15th of November is that the great-grandchild of Bitcoin was born. No one cared for it. No one asked for it. But lo and behold, it was born into the world. It's Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's vision. Happened on the 15th of November. If you're keeping track, this was the exact same day that Bitcoin started plummeting in price. And I remember mentioning to people, I said, we don't need another hard fork. We don't need any more Bitcoin. I think we have about 17, 18, if not 100 at this point of people who had been forking Bitcoin. And I said, I have a very strange feeling when we get SV or when we get any other fork that Bitcoin's price is going to react negatively. Why? Because around the same exact time, there were a number of people on podcasts who were talking, they were discussing, and they said, when investors are looking to get into the cryptocurrency space, they want very clear, not only rules and regulations, they want to know what they're getting into. If you're deciding, I want to start buying stock, I want to buy Apple, and then you see that there's an Apple Cash and an Apple SV, which one do you buy? No. I want to buy Nike. Which Nike? There's a Nike Gold, there's a Nike SV, there's a Nike Green. Well, I want to buy the real Nike. Well, my friend says that Nike SV is the real Nike. It causes too much confusion in the market. And they said if there are more forks, it's going to just simply lead to more confusion. This is why I was like, I don't know, I feel like this is going to be very bad. SV launched, once again, November 15th, and Bitcoin slammed down in price. And people were like, no, that doesn't make any sense. It's just capitulation. It has to be so and so and so. If you paid attention before, when Bitcoin Cash, not SV, was born, Bitcoin's price also took a tumble. Why? When you as an investor, as a very rich investor, get into any market and your stock doubles, multiplies, and is no longer as rare, you have to understand, while you may understand that Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's vision are not Bitcoin, that's not how everyone thinks. People are still buying scam coins. What do you think that they understand the difference between Bitcoin, Bcash, and SV? The answer is no. So when they see that they've put 20, 30, whatever million into something, even $800,000 into a coin, and that coin has split, and therefore their stuff is worth less, this is why this stuff ends up happening. When Bcash was created, Bitcoin dropped in price. When Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's vision came out, Bitcoin's price dropped in half because the correlation was in Japan and many other places, people were touting Bcash as normal Bitcoin. So these people thought normal Bitcoin has already been forked into another normal Bitcoin, Bcash, and that normal second Bitcoin is now being forked and is going to double its supply once again. And this is why the price exactly cut in half. Staying with me? Good. I hope you are. For those of you who don't know, and I saw this, I chuckled, I was angry. I looked at the screen once again. I said, no, it couldn't have possibly happened. Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's vision, came to life on the 15th of November, 2018. And you guess what happened on the 15th of November, 2019? You guessed it. Bitcoin Cash had a hard fork. Surprise, surprise, surprise. It would have been something different if this had happened on the 1st of November, or on the 18th of November, on the 29th of November. It could have happened in October or September, even in July. The fact that it happened on the exact same day that we've seen historically before, where Bitcoin's price goes down, has led me to believe, first of all, if you don't know, I believe that there is only one Bitcoin. And I don't mean that as like a religious rhetoric. I mean just logically, there's only one Louis Vuitton, there's only one Nike, there's only one US of A. If someone else says, no, we're USA too, we're all going to go, you're crazy, because we know exactly where the USA is. We know what the protocol looks like. We know that these coins have been forked. We know that they are just copies. There's a reason why Bitcoin is number one and why everyone else hasn't flocked to these other coins, especially since they're not even being used, but that's an entirely different discussion. Remember, the last couple of days, weeks, what have you, we've been seeing a large amount of analysts coming forward talking about how bearish Bitcoin was looking. Trying to choose my words lightly or strongly. I don't really care at this point. Don't you think it's odd that during the draw up to Bcash forking once again, the long story short, I'm pretty sure this was all coordinated. I don't even know how to, I can't sugarcoat it in any other way. The timing within the cryptocurrency space is always stupid. I don't know if people think that the internet doesn't exist and that we simply can't look back at previous articles, that they're simply not there before. I've connected the dots before in other videos. Remember at the beginning of 2018, the very end of 2018, like let's give it the last day, when one government came forward and they were like, yeah, Bitcoin is evil, Bitcoin is so, we're going to ban Bitcoin. And then 7 days later, another government did it. And then 7 days later, there was another one. And then like by the 5th or 6th government, I was like, I went through it in a video and I was like, why? They were all doing it exactly a week apart. And a lot of them were choosing to do it on a Friday, like as the markets were closing, air quotes, because they didn't realize that cryptocurrency markets don't close and that they're actually 24 hours. They were doing it at the end of Fridays to try and get people to sell off their cryptocurrencies to have negative prices during the weekend. So many things that happen within this space, so many scam coins, so many other things. People are actively trying to push forward the idea that not only is Bitcoin not Bitcoin, but that Bitcoin's price should be lower. Whenever we keep getting months of waves, and I mean tsunami waves, of great, awesome, amazing, wonderful Bitcoin news, adoption, people using it, retirement accounts, this is happening, this is being set up, this is being opened, and the news is nonstop. Yeah, man, Bitcoin's not looking good. The fundamentals aren't there. And I'm like, what are we looking at the same fundamentals? Are we looking at the same websites? Are we looking at the same internet? Do you know what Bitcoin is? Do you see trillions of dollars? Last year alone, Bitcoin did 4 times the amount of transactions as PayPal. Bitcoin alone, that's not even the other coins. That's not Ether, that's not Litecoin, that's not XRP, that's not Stellar, that's not Tron. That's not even any of the other crappy coins that are out there. Imagine the entirety of the cryptocurrency space transacting trillions of dollars and people being like, well, the prices just aren't, I don't know, the fundamentals aren't really there. We're getting very bearish signals. From who? Where are you getting these signals from when it's clear that Bitcoin's price is being suppressed? The last couple of weeks have been a very big eye-opener for me in many different ways. I had speculated for a while, you all know this, that the cryptocurrency market was manipulated, but I tried to believe that it wasn't happening, and I'll use the word wasn't happening from within. I've even noticed there are a lot of podcasts out there that have the name Bitcoin. And when you listen to what the people are saying, they tend to use the word core a lot. And it took me a while to get it. These are podcasts that use the word Bitcoin for their podcast. This is a Bitcoin podcast. This is a Bitcoin so-and-so. And they are Bcash supporters. And they refer to the number one coin as core, as in Bitcoin core. And they do it, and they talk negatively about core the entire episode. It's going to go, I don't think anyone's really using core anymore. Do you guys even use core? No, I've been using Bitcoin for a while. And the way that they use, remember the situation that we had in 2017 or 18, I can't remember the exact date, where Bitcoin.com, which is owned by people who support Bcash, had switched on somewhere on their website, you were able to buy crypto. They had 2 options. You could either buy Bitcoin, the number one coin, or you could buy Bitcoin Cash. Overnight at some point, they had swapped the names of them, and Bitcoin Cash simply became Bitcoin, and the number one coin, they started calling it Bitcoin Core. Can you all guess what happened? Just quick guess. People who were looking to buy the number one coin bought the newly renamed Bitcoin from Bitcoin.com. And when they tried to send it to a Bitcoin wallet, you guessed it, it didn't work because it wasn't Bitcoin. So much of this stuff is happening, and it takes not even reading between the lines. You have to do a lot of research to see where this is coming from. Years ago, I would have told you that it came from the idea of decentralization, that this has to happen, that this needs to be so and so and so. The original idea is that there was only one Bitcoin. We only needed one Bitcoin, and Bitcoin could be updated. Bitcoin could have other layers. Bitcoin could have so and so. Then other people come forward and they say, no, that's not Bitcoin. I'm going to fork it and I'm going to make the real Bitcoin because I'm Satoshi Nakamoto. I'll put it to you this way. How many Satoshi Nakamotos have we had come forward over the last 3 years, and none of them are able to prove that they're Satoshi Nakamoto, but we still have people following them? Have they proven it to you or anyone else? No. These people are doing it because they don't care about decentralization. They don't care about anything else. They see the cash grab of a lifetime. Can you imagine being able to write a computer code, putting it out there, and then someone else goes, I'm going to copy that code and give it a slightly different name. That coin ends up being worth 2, 3, 4 billion. Within a year, how much richer you have become. These people don't care about Bitcoin or decentralization. They care about themselves. I'm pointing directly at myself. I'm 1000% certain this hard fork was done on the exact same date that Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's vision, came into existence, because they were trying to crash the price of Bitcoin once again. It's far too obvious. It lines up way too easily. This is why I said if it had been done on any other date, I would have been like, okay, whatever. And if it had happened on the 28th of October and Bitcoin had dropped down to half, I would have been like, wow, something's wrong with the market. The fact that we've been getting so much negative news, check Twitter, check different websites. You can even Google the word Bitcoin bear. In the last 3 weeks, it'll blow you away because it's nonstop articles talking about how bearish Bitcoin's price is. This one says, Bitcoin price breaks below 8,500. Are bears in complete control? No, they're not. Oh my gosh. How many of these people have to be working together? I don't think it's, I was going to say to actively destroy Bitcoin, but I don't think that's what it is as well. I think it's a type of, they figured out a way to be able to copy something, to be able to get money from it, to make themselves richer, which I assume will eventually all just be pushed back into Bitcoin. Because a lot of the people who are even creating Bitcoin forks hold tons of Bitcoin themselves. And when a fork happens, you end up getting the coin of that new fork. This is why it's so fascinating. It's so interesting to see the ad. For those of you not looking at the screen, the last article comes from Bloomberg. It was the 27th of September, 2018. Everyone and their mother knew in their hearts, analysts, charts, every single person was waiting for Bitcoin to go up in 2018. It was a complete given. The amount of people who had jumped into the market as the price was, remember when the price was slamming down every single day and we only had good news? Every analyst who went on TV was like, yeah, this isn't gonna hold. We have no idea how much longer prices are gonna go back down. It just doesn't make any sense for Bitcoin to continue dropping. It was a nonstop thing. Lo and behold, SV just happened to be born, mimic the exact same thing that Bcash had done. Remember, there were also a number of other coins who also tried to fork from Bcash around the exact same time, and some other whatever. So there were so many forks of forks that were trying to happen, that were trying to push down the prices of the cryptocurrency market. They succeeded in doing so. I simply think that this hard fork, the same as the SV hard fork, was done on the same exact day to coordinate a price drop. I don't really care if you don't agree with me. Call me any name you want. Like, I really, at this point, I could care less. I've gotten to the point in cryptocurrency where things are just so clear to me, it's almost nonsensical. I think people do things once again because I think that they think that other people simply can't look back and see the nonsense that has happened before. I swear to actual goodness, if the 15th of November, 2020 has another Bitcoin hard fork or some other upgrade or something happening at the exact same time, I already don't like forked coins. I already don't like the fact that these people, in my eyes, are disingenuous. Who was that other guy? And thank goodness, Andreas Antonopoulos was just talking about that other guy on Twitter. Some other guy came out at a cryptocurrency convention, whispering to people that he was really Satoshi Nakamoto. And then there was some other guy, some normal, not heavy crypto person, whatever, prominent person, found the guy at a convention and was like recording him. And he was like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" He's like, "So you're Satoshi?" And the guy like tried to run away. People are so terrible that they're so desperate to just scam people to try and get their money, to fork these things. Like, imagine a world where everyone was genuine. Imagine a world where we didn't have any Bitcoin hard forks or so and so, and all that money simply went into Bitcoin. If we gave the number one coin priority, not saying that we should look past Ethereum, Litecoin, blah, 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 but I mean as far as like in the Bitcoin space, imagine if all that energy to scam people out of money was used to make other layers, to make Bitcoin faster, to make Bitcoin more secure, to make Bitcoin have private transactions. The people who held these coins, Bitcoin would be around $28,000, $35,000, $45,000 right now. How much richer they would be. Like, scams only hurt the entire community. Why do you think regulators are so annoyed with the cryptocurrency space? Because it's so easy to fork these things. And the only silver lining I've ever seen from the SEC is when they call out other forks or stuff like that as scams, and they're like, "No, you're definitely a scam. Like, you are so and so and so." That's the only. I mean, it's so insane that instead of trying to do the right thing so that we can all have a brighter economic future, or even just for our kids, even the other, you know what? Even the other cryptocurrency channels that are constantly scamming people. And I almost slipped. I almost said the name. You know who I'm talking about. There's one prominent cryptocurrency channel out there who has like a coin of the day or some nonsense like that since 2017, 2018 to do a coin of the day. And they talk about, yeah, this coin is definitely going to make you tons of money. You guys should all buy it. The coin goes up by like 8%. And the next day they're like, yeah, that coin was garbage. But this coin, and people still, why do you follow scams? What is it inherently that makes you want to believe that these scammers are telling the truth? The other people who were part of the whole BitConnect thing, some of them still have YouTube channels that people are still following them. Are you obsessed with losing money? Do you want to be broke? Like, what's the mindset? Like, what makes you go, well, he only made me, me and my friends and my family lose so much money from that scam, but he looks like a nice guy. His girlfriend's really pretty. I should still follow him. What is it? What's inside of people's heads? Like, what? This isn't me talking about other coins. Like, this isn't me talking about Ether or Litecoin or XRP. What is it that makes you actively follow something that you know is a scam and that you know is not going to be around for a long time? The only reason why Bcash got added to a whole bunch of different cryptocurrency websites like Coinbase and all this other stuff is because people were threatening to sue them. That's right. For those of you who weren't here in 2017, Bcash wasn't going to be added to any other platforms. No one was even thinking of adding it. But people were talking about suing Coinbase for the money that they were owed and the money that they deserved and so and so and so. So they were like, okay, we don't want to be sued, so you can have the forked coin. These things were never going to be on other platforms. Why do you think SV was being delisted in mass? These things shouldn't be on websites. It's people's greed thinking, well, I have so and so and so, and I should get the money from it, and therefore I'm going to make the entire cryptocurrency space worse. It's so sad. We as a people could be so much further ahead in so many things that we do. All the infighting, all the I hate your coin, my coin is so much faster, my coin is so much so and so. And the people from these projects leaving these projects just to go and make other coins that do the exact same thing as the last coin that they were doing. This list doesn't even have a complete list of all the Bitcoin forks. There have been so many Bitcoin forks. Why are there so many Bitcoin forks? Who cares about all of these things? Why are these things still popular? Why do these things still transact or have people fake transacting money through them every single day? Why do they still have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of market cap? Why? Can anyone tell me why? And I know the answer is greed. I know the answer is greed, but I'm looking for like a real answer. Is it that you don't care? Is it that you want to be broke? Is it that you can't see where cryptocurrencies are going and you're just trying to make money for yourself right now? Do you think that crypto is fake? and you're trying to just simply pump up the coin so that you can get out of it? Are you trying to buy a new house in Malibu? Like, what's the connection? I'm still under the impression that because of the news that we are constantly getting, that Bitcoin seems to be bearish. Bitcoin's going to move down. Bitcoin's definitely looming. Bitcoin's blah, 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 blah. Like the other thing, the news that we had about 4 days ago that Bitcoin had passed by its death cross. Give me an actual break. I'm still of the mindset at the moment that they're going to actively still try and push Bitcoin's price down. If Bitcoin falls below 8,000 or floats around 7,500 within the next week, you'd better believe people are going to be like, well, I think it's because of this. I think so and so and so. I think this happened to the Bitcoin market. No, it'll be this will be used as the excuse. If not this, it'll be something to do with the US-China trade deal economy type thing. There are very few things that they can actually use to try and pinpoint the drop in Bitcoin's price, and this is why every single time that there's a huge drop in price, you see me in the other videos, I go over the actual news that probably caused it. It's probably not this person. Like, most of the time Bitcoin's price has gone down, it's probably not some 300-year-old man who's talking about that he hates Bitcoin. It's probably the huge sell-off, or it's probably the huge amount of people who are just shifting Bitcoin back and forth. It's probably the fake sell orders, or it's probably a coordinated attack in some sort of way. The thing that we had in 2017 when Bitcoin was doing very well in price, for those of you who are not here, Bitcoin was being attacked in the news. And why was it being attacked in the news? Is because people figured out how to spam the network, and they were like, yeah, Bitcoin just shouldn't be that high. The network's going really slow. And then you looked into it. There were about 10 addresses who were spamming the smallest transactions that they could into the Bitcoin network to slow it down. There was a point where we had 20,000 unconfirmed transactions, and they were all coming from the same addresses. These people are disgusting. It makes me so upset that this is, but this happens for everything. So I can't logically be upset. It happens in stock markets, in gold, silver, palladium, real estate. Corruption and greed are just a part of life. It may not be the part that we want, but it's just part of it. The entire point being, this was coordinated. Why wasn't the Bcash hard fork tomorrow? Why wasn't the Bcash hard fork on the 1st of November? Why wasn't it done on some other block? Why did it have to be exactly at that time? Anyway, I'm omni-frustrated. As always, an enormous, gigantic thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Nields, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and J, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Milweezy Mechanic, Strange Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas, One Earth, One Peace, One Love, Damian Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangiela, Vodi, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie Mick Boatface, Sammy Buucha, Ting Tang Walla Walla Bing Bang, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, and Shoop Diddy Wop Hummer Wang Dang. That's a good one. Thank you all very, very much for your support. I've seen a couple of people asking me in the section, in the comment section, why I get so emotional, not to get emotional. It doesn't have anything to do with emotion, really. It's more like I'm not a cyborg and things annoy me. Like, you have to have something in your life where you get annoyed. Like, the entire idea not to get emotional over finance is a very weird thing. I know how to put emotions aside sometimes. If I'm like buying real estate, I may really want a place in a city sometimes. That's, that may be an emotional purchase, but no one else gets upset when we find out that potentially, allegedly, actors within the cryptocurrency space are actively trying to make you lose money. No one gets upset when we know that something is a scam and then they get caught and then people still watch their YouTube channels. Like, no one gets flustered. Everyone's like, oh, that's fine. This is okay. It's just fine. Like that guy who was crying in his car when he lost all of his money from BitConnect. It's terrible. Like, these things should not be happening. Like, we have to find ways. Like, when you see a channel that's doing something wrong, call them out on it. Like, if I ever promote like a crappy coin, tell me, call me out, like, go on Twitter and go completely insane. Talk about that I'm doing something completely wrong. Explain to me why I'm doing it wrong, so I can be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We let these things happen within the cryptocurrency space. We let other people lose money and go broke and fall for scams because, well, it's not me. It's not my money. Imagine if we helped each other. I've said this so many other times before. Imagine if we all gave real advice. You know how many times we've seen actively that coins don't have real partnerships, are scams. The people who claim to be the creator of something. What was that guy? The guy who said that he's Satoshi. He just went back to court and told the judge that he doesn't have any money. He can't pay back the court because he doesn't have the money that he claimed that he had. And then people still follow them. And then in the comment section, people are telling me, no, he's the real Satoshi because so and so and so people. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, is this really something that passes through your mind? Like, I don't know if people are joking, if they're just like hyper trolls. I think trolls have evolved. They drank some type of toxic sludge and they're now level 2 trolls, because sometimes I really can't tell in the comment section. I don't know what's going on anymore. The greed, what's the saying? Greed will imprison us all. Everyone's so greedy and so desperate to try and get their crappy coin to pump up in price that they lose sight of what this is all about. Imagine if you weren't in a scam. Imagine if you didn't try to scam other people. I can feel the comment section flooding. The comment section is being flooded right now. I mentioned that in another video about 2 weeks ago. The comment section was like, you just don't know how great Tezos is. You're not understanding. Dude, Ontology is going to be the greatest coin in the world. Maker? You don't know what Maker is? Dude, do your own research. You know how many people tell me to do my own research for crappy coins? It's insurmountable. I wish I could show you. I wish I had a P.O. box. I wish the comment section didn't exist. And I wish that people had to send me physical letters based off of the comments that they had for this channel. And I would fill a room in my house just with the letters of people telling me what coins to buy. That would make a great video, by the way. That'd make an excellent video. If I just read comments from people telling me I'm an idiot and what coins I should be telling other people to buy. This coin has a partnership with this country. This coin has a partnership with this. This coin has done so and so and so. This one may not have a creator anymore, but this one's definitely doing so and so. I expect it to hit $1. I expect it to hit so and so. And the comment section is littered with all of these things of people telling other people to buy into scams, to buy into so and so. You guys should definitely get into this. How doesn't anyone know this? I think TMI has lost his mind, because I was telling him to buy this coin last year. It's gone up by 8%. Dude, you're doing a huge disservice to all of your listeners. And I read these things for years. I've had this channel for years. And I read so many of the comments. You think I don't read the comments? I read the comments. If I have nothing, if my brain is bulging because I'm tired of reading cryptocurrency news, I read the comment section. I like to see what people say, what they do, how they scream at me. I love the not telling you to insult me. But if you do, if it's in your heart and it makes you go to sleep better at night, sure. I read it. I see what people say. I see what people don't say. I see all the scams. I see what are those really weird things that keep popping up now. It's like, it goes like, I really love your videos, but I think you definitely missed out on this coin. This coin helped me so and so and so and so. And over the last 5 months, Mr. James has really helped me make tons of money. You can reach him at this email. Like huge paragraphs. And I see them popping up and I'm like, where the heck is that coming from? It has like 47 fake likes and like 35 fake comments beneath it. And I'm like, no one's really falling for this. Like, I hope that people aren't actually falling for these fake things. Remember, I'm sure this is still happening. Remember when people were impersonating me on Telegram? Remember when people were making fake Twitter accounts? Remember, for those of you who were here around the time I had like 5, 6, 10,000 subscribers, people were making fake YouTube channels that were called like The Modern Investor, like with spaces between it, or like with like a dot at the very end or something like that. And they were downloading my videos and uploading them as their own videos. These channels obviously got taken down. They were like marked by YouTube. What's wrong with people? Why do people do these things? Why would you actively try to scam other people out of their money when you could be paying attention to your own money and just buying coins? We don't need these coins. Look at these coins. Do we need these? Do we actively need? Look at these. Do you need them? Does anyone need them? Is there going to be a point in the future where you're going to walk into a store? Can I pay in gaps, please? Do you guys accept Mona coin? Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. All right. Do you guys take Ardor? You don't. Okay. What are these coins for? These coins are just copies of copies of copies. These are all just 3rd, 4th, 95th generation copies of Bitcoin. I understand that Bitcoin will not be the only coin. I understand that we're going to live in a future where we have multiple coins. And I think, and I've said it before, the coins I believe it will be are the coins that are constantly being added by the same companies, same corporations, same stock exchanges, same crypto exchanges. Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, potentially EOS, Cardano, Lumens, maybe 1 or 2 other coins. Tron bought BitTorrent for $100 million. BitTorrent token currently has a 24-hour volume of $17 million. That is nothing. You and your friends could probably push that price up if you wanted to. No one's going to be using BitTorrent token in a couple of years. No one's going to be using Bitcoin Diamond. Why does Bitcoin Diamond have $92 million in it? I just don't understand. I don't think I ever will. I don't think I even want to. I think if I ever got to the point where I understood why people scam other people, or why people still have their money in these coins that they know aren't going to go anywhere, I think I'd have a conniption. Something negative would happen to me. I would just short circuit. I dare say, I hope you all enjoyed. If nothing else, if you got nothing else from this video, I hope that it was enjoyable to you in some sort of way. Cryptocurrency, in my eyes, is going to be great. I think crypto is going to have a fantastic future. I think eventually Bitcoin's price will hit 100,000. Shout out to the person who said this in the comment section the other day. Somebody was like, when I was talking about other people who give like predictions on exact dates as to where Bitcoin's price is going to go, and somebody was like, well, you said that Bitcoin's price was going to hit 100,000. I did. I said it'll hit it eventually. In my eyes, I think Bitcoin will eventually hit 100,000. Can I give you an exact date? No. Can I give you an exact year? No. Can I give you an exact month, hour, time frame? No. It's impossible. No one knows these things. I think that with adoption and the way that things are going, it's logical that Bitcoin is probably going to hit $100,000. I think the cryptocurrency space is going to do very well. I still think it's going to be at the expense of other people who are listening right now and are still holding crap coins and are going to continue holding these crap coins until Bitcoin shoots up in value and they start selling their crap coins in an effort to try and make some profits that they could have made before. But this is just how life is. What's the phrase? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it buy Bitcoin. Hope you all have a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all, every single one of you, once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly go away, be talking to you all soon. See you.